Hi, everyone. Now that we've completed the first 2 weeks, I just wanted to check in with you, give you a couple of tips, let you know how things are going, and share a few observations. First of all, I think everything's going great. I am really enjoying you as a group. In particular, I really enjoy how you communicate with each other. Your discussions are really rich. Each of you seem to really truly be listening with mind, heart, and I'll say soul to one another. You're adding to one another's discussion. You're adding to the conversation. You're not just flippantly replying. The tip that I want to give you is to make sure, please make sure that you are reading all of my feedback. And in this first couple of weeks is especially important because I've noticed at least a couple of you make the same mistakes the second week that you made your first week, which tells me you maybe did not read my feedback from the first week. Now on Moodle, sometimes it can be hard to find feedback, and that's different for different aspects. So if you turn in a short paper, the feedback looks one way and comes in one place. For your discussions, my feedback comes in a different format. And this week you had 2 reflection journal questions. And for journals, you get feedback in yet another way. So please try to find where the feedback is for each of those different types of assignments. Make sure you have read my feedback, and you'll find some valuable stuff there. As the class goes on, you'll get the hang of the things that I provide a lot of feedback for and other items that sometimes I'll just give a score for, depending. Reflections are the thing that I spend the most time on. Here are some things that I have learned about you and found from the first couple of weeks. And first of all, from week 1, this might already seem like a long time ago that you did the summary of the survey on learning organizations. And there are some patterns you might not be aware of because you didn't get to read everybody else's paper like I did. One of the patterns is that most of you, 90% of you, reported that your organization had low scores. Some of you expected that, some of you were surprised. But just know that a learning organization is hard to come by. Not many organizations are learning organizations. So if your scores were low, that's pretty normal. But also remember, not every organization needs to be a learning organization. Some organizations don't need to be innovative. They really just need to create a steady, consistent product. And people just need to follow protocols and a hierarchy. But places like schools that really need to transform their systems, that's a good example of an organization that really needs to be a learning organization if we're going to make some progress. And then, of course, tech companies is another example. Tech companies really need to be innovative. One thing that some of you pointed out about the pitfalls, remember the 5 pitfalls of hierarchy, is that a lot of you notice that one pitfall kind of leads to the rest. Essentially a hierarchy that has, a problem with the flow of communication that starts leading to all the other pitfalls. For this week, one of the big themes, I sort of called it the punchline for the whole week regarding personal mastery, has to do with being able to see larger perspectives than ourself. Essentially it's like learning that, whoa, it's not all about me. The thing that is all about you is how we judge other people. That's about you. We judge other people based on how we see things and our experiences. But everything else is not about you. And I want to read this quote that somebody shared. One of you shared. It's from David Foster Wallace. This is Water Speech. And it goes like this. It's a matter of my choosing to do the work of somehow altering or getting free of my natural, hardwired default setting, which is to be deeply and literally self-centered, and to see and interpret everything through this lens of self. People who can adjust their natural default setting this way are often described as being well-adjusted, which I suggest to you is not an accidental term. So essentially, when it seems like people are treating you a certain way, I hope that this week has been helpful in remembering it's not about you, it's about them. And ultimately, we call that going to the balcony, right? Remember that from my week 2 lecture, being able to step out of things and look over everything and look at the system. rather than just seeing through your personal lens. Two little teeny tiny things. One of you asked if the groups that you are in were made on purpose or whether they were random. They were completely random. Moodle made those groups. Moodle was the magic sorting hat. So I hope they're working out. I thought that was an interesting question. And also, I wanted to note that some of you are putting my last name as Owens with an S. It is Owens singular. It's not that I care about this for any egoic reasons or anything, but for instance, when you're trying to type my email, you might have trouble finding my email if you're putting in Owens, because that's not my name. So remember, it's Owen singular. I think that's mostly it. I sure am enjoying learning from you and with you, and I hope that we continue to have a rich next couple of weeks. Bye.